guys, so after watching that slideshow, who is ready for cake? That always makes me hungry, and watching my students create these drawings always makes me really, really in the mood for some cake. So today's going to be our practice day and idea gathering. If you feel confident and your idea is ready, you can start your drawing today, but we're going to save our coloring until our next lesson because we're going to talk about lots of different options for color later. So I don't want to waste paper, and I don't want to do a different idea on each paper. So you can either just draw numerous small cakes on your sheet. If you like to be more organized, you can divide it into sections. You could either fold it to create your sections, or I know some of you are working in a sketchbook, and so that might be hard to fold in a sketchbook, right? So we can just draw some lines. They don't have to be perfect. We're just kind of separating our space so we have some spots to do our drawings. So these are kind of called thumbnail sketches. I can't remember if we talked about that yet or not, but our basic cake, I'm going to start with that. And this is a geometric form. I think you'll recognize as a cylinder. I'm going to start with an oval. And here I'm pressing hard so you can see, but remember to press lightly to start with. What if I do this? That's a bit crooked, and I think I want to edit that a little bit. So no worries there. I'm not going to erase the whole thing. I think that side looks okay. I'm going to erase part of it. And of course, if I've drawn lightly, this is going to erase much more easily, but I'm not worried about that. If you forget to draw lightly as we add color, all those marks will go away. So I'm satisfied with that. So that is my oval to get started. If it's rounder, you're going to be looking more at the top of the cake. If it's narrower, you'll be looking more at the side. So there's no specific width your oval needs to be. I am going to come to my very edge here, make a straight line down. You don't want to start and do a line from here. You want right at the widest part of your oval. So another line down that's parallel to this one. And then we don't want a straight line. I see that commonly happen is students will draw a straight line. You want the bottom of your cake to mimic or to be the parallel with this curve right here at the top. And so I'm going to do that. Again, you can edit anything that you're not happy with, change it a little bit. That's a cake. That's just a simple cylinder. You could add all kinds of cool decorations to that and make it fancier. If you want to put it on a stand or a plate, you can just draw another oval. And if we want to borrow an idea from Wayne Thiebaud, remember he had that one painting where they were all on those tall stands. You could just do that, or you could create some other look for that. All right, leave the decorating up to you to practice some ideas. Let's take a slice out of this cake. So, oval. This is going to look exactly the same to start with. My parallel lines down, my bottom curve, and then I'm just going to put a little dot kind of right here in the center here, and I'm going to make an angle coming in. And you can aim it any way. And so this, I'm going to make two more lines coming down that are parallel with these lines. So those two lines. Now these little bits in here, those get erased. Again, if I have drawn my lines more lightly, that's easier to get rid of, but we're going to color it. So absolutely okay if they still show a bit. Okay, so now this is the inside of the cake, but I need this edge here. So a little bit trickier. We're looking at this line right here, that diagonal. Our line from this edge is going up right there. This is gone because that's the piece that's come out already. And we're looking at the inside of the cake. If I baked a layer of cake that thick, it's probably not going to bake correctly. That's really hard because it's too thick and too deep. And so a lot of times when we have these layer cakes, there's frosting that holds a couple of layers together. So I'm going to put, and I got that one a little off. It should also be mimicking that. So inside there, that's the frosting layer. You could put more than one frosting layer if you want, but that's the basics of that. Again, if you want a plate, something like that could just be a plate. And then we could think about, you know, a tabletop, or if you want to get a little bit fancier, you can put a stand on it. All right, we're going to do 2 more versions. And just to make sure you can see, I know that my phone makes it kind of hard sometimes to do things lower. I'm just turning this upside down because this is not a finished piece of artwork. All right, we're going to take a big chunk out of our cake. Starting the same way, oval, our parallel lines, our curve. Now, we've had a few people have some cake, so there's a big wedge out of this. I'm going to just mark my center a bit. And then I'm making a wider angle. If we think about our math, if we've learned about angles yet, that first little slice was an acute angle. And here we have an obtuse angle. So coming down, parallel, all here. And then I'm going to go inside and reflect this angle right here. So I'm going in, back out. And then these curves get erased. And then this is the interior corner or angle of that cake. That right now, a lot of kids tell me, wow, that looks like a wedge of cheese. And so what we're going to do, we're going to put our frosting layers in. Let's say this one's a 3-layer cake. So I could put my layers of frosting in here. You can get fancy, put as many as you want. All right, and then we'll put a plate on that guy too. We'll just do one of those simple stands right there. That got a little bit crooked, but that's all right. And so again, thinking about any kind of decorations you want to add, you can get creative. For this next one, I'm actually going to turn my paper this way. So this will be more of a portrait situation or vertical orientation. And so this is going to be what we would call a tiered cake. And I don't mean tears like we cry. I'm going to write that word actually right here at the top. And so kind of like that. And so this is frequently what you would see with a wedding cake, although this can be any occasion you want. So I'm going to do a pretty small little, and near the top, our little mini cake. And then we're just like we added those plates. I'm going to go around. And then now it looks like a top hat, doesn't it? I'm going to come down. And then again, I'm going to reflect this curve down here. And let's put one more. And then, and you can see I am rushing because you don't want to sit here and watch me draw for the entire rest of the class. But you definitely can take your time. So now if I want a plate around that or a cake stand, I can do it again. And then I could, let's put one of these kinds on here. Now it's ready for decorations. Just a quick some quick ideas for that. You could do swags, and you guys can do all kinds of different things. But this is a pretty popular thing that people do. You can put those little sort of ruffles of frosting around your edges. Really super, anything on top if you want. You know you can get cakes with anything. I'm going to show you super quick of here. Very, very easy little rose. Do a little swirl. Sort of a little U under it. And then add some leaves. So go ahead and let's get practicing, and I am super excited to see your ideas.